So, hello, Learn English with Football is back. And if this is your first time tuning in, then let me tell you what it is. It is a live show about football featuring football fans. And what we do here is that we discuss highlights of the latest Premier League game week. And later this week, this show will be followed by another show, which is called The Language Corner, which is much shorter. And this is where I explain vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation from this show, from the main show. But as always, we've got three fantastic guests, football fans supporting three different teams. We've got, excluding myself, okay, I'm a neutral here today. I'm not, but I'm going to pretend I am. So we've got a West Ham fan, we've got an Arsenal fan, we've got a Liverpool fan. So which one is you, Henry?
I'm an Arsenal fan.
Mm-hmm. All right, an Arsenal fan. And you're an English teacher as well?
Yes, that's right.
This is your website and your Instagram account?
Yes, that's me.
All right. And then we've got Paul.
Hello,
making
Dennis.
his comeback. Hi, Paul. Long time no see, actually.
First time this season, I think.
You've been hiding in the shadows.
I've been busy. I play football on a Monday night, but it's a late kickoff tonight, so that's why I can join.
Fantastic. So this is obviously your Instagram account, and you have got a YouTube channel as well. Can you remind us the name? Sorry, I didn't put it here.
The YouTube channel. I have English for football fans.
I've got it here. I've got it here. Look, I've got it here. Yeah, there you go. And so you support which team?
Liverpool.
That's why I said you've been hiding this season.
We've been okay, Zenek. It's okay. Don't worry.
We'll get to that.
The banter starts early.
And last but not least, of course, our regular, I think the most appealing guest as well this season, Clive, despite his team not being at their best.
No.
Undeniably, nowhere near our best. Yeah.
I don't think we have to say which team you support. It's kind of behind you, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of, it lives with me and within me.
Good. It looks good.
West Ham United. And this is your YouTube channel. And this is where you, I believe, talk to football fans, West Ham and the Hammers.
Correct, yeah, mainly West Ham fans, but I have started expanding to speak to fans from all teams. And, you know, the premise of what I do is finding out why you support the team you do, how long you've supported them, and why you continue to support them. And that could be any team. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, the local pub team. It doesn't matter. I just love chatting to football fans. You know, I like to hear their stories. And there are plenty of people out there that also like to hear their stories as well. So
fantastic.
Good.
And it's always, we always love to hear your stories here on this show as well. And so we better get started with our first segment, which is called Matches We Have Seen. So this one is really quick. I'm just going to ask you which matches you watched. Sometimes some guests didn't have time to watch matches, so if it's highlights, that's okay too, of course. So Henry.
So I've seen the second half of the North London derby. I get too stressed watching that one live, so I tend to come back and watch it the next day once I've seen the result. Right. And then I saw Manchester City against Manchester United, and I've seen the highlights of Liverpool-Brighton.
Fantastic. What about Paul?
I watched Arsenal Spurs most of that, and then West Ham was the late match on Saturday, wasn't it?
It was.
correct, yes.
I watched some of that. I think it was, I watched the second half of that, and then I watched Liverpool. I had a stream for Liverpool on the Saturday as well, and then I missed the Manchester derby, so I only watched half of the Leeds Villa match.
Okay, fair enough. And you, Clive?
Well, I was present at the saw the West Ham Wolves game in the stadium. So clearly on Saturday, I didn't really get a chance to see any of the games live other than that game. But I have watched the highlights of the North London derby and the Manchester derby and the Brighton Liverpool game as well. Yeah, that's about it for me as well, really.
Where do you want to start, Zenek? What match?
I'm just gonna say, sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I've just changed my resolution. Like, are there any issues with my image or anybody's image? Clive is a
No.
bit. Yeah, there's Clive. You're a little bit laggy.
I can turn off my green screen. Let me
It could
just
be
quickly
to
do
do
that.
with that background, actually,
Might
or
be,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the fact that my Wi-Fi is quite slow.
Yeah,
And
there are some lags there.
sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
that
think this
should
is going to work
improve.
much better. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Thanks.
should
Okay,
improve.
so the games I saw, just 3 games. The North London derby. Then I saw the West Ham game, and on Sunday I only watched one of those 2 games, and that was the Manchester derby. Okay, so now let's get into the game week highlights. Paul, you know what? You asked the question. You have a choice. So we need to discuss primarily what we do on this show is that we always discuss the matches of the supporters we have here. Yeah. So we're definitely gonna talk about Arsenal, Liverpool, and West Ham. And if there's some time left, we might get into the derby, the Manchester derby, for instance. But which one would you like to talk about first, Paul?
I think Arsenal, really, top of the league, flying high, started really well. They're looking good. It's not like, I don't think they've beaten, this was a test for Arsenal playing Spurs, but Spurs haven't been so good, I don't think, this season. They've had a couple of, like, they were lucky against Chelsea to get a draw, I think. They've had a couple of lucky results, Spurs. But Arsenal, the thing about Arsenal, I don't think they've played many good teams. Of course, they lost to Manchester United, but they've played well and they look good. And I thought that
They
last
drew against
season, I was
West Ham
saying
as well.
It didn't always used to be the case that Arsenal would play this well against these, let's say, lesser teams. So I've been quite impressed by Arsenal this season. Henry, how good were Arsenal in the North London derby?
I mean, the second half was unbelievable. They basically took the ball at the beginning of the half and then kept it and until Tottenham ended up getting a player sent off, which was a lot of it. I think was just frustration. They just hadn't had the ball for like 20 minutes. It was unbelievable.
I missed that. Who got sent off?
Emerson Royale.
Emerson Royale.
Ah, yeah. I saw it. Yeah.
And it was just a very sort of lazy, silly sort of stamp, you could just about say, but it was studs high.
Studs up against Martinelli.
Over the top of the ankle, so the referee had no option but to give a red once. He had to look at VAR to make that decision, but it was the right decision, I feel.
Who was your man of the match, Henry? Or player of the match, as they say.
Well, I mean, Thomas Partey was just just so calm on the ball, and would
his strike for his goal was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, his goal was unbelievable. Side-footed into top corner, but just the way he sort of drifts past players is amazing. He doesn't have to sort of use physicality, or he doesn't have to use any sort of. He does use tricks, but he just suddenly seems to sort of just turn or glide, and he's past somebody, and then he's got space and he can pass it anywhere on the pitch. And really lovely player to watch. Really, really good. So happy he got a goal as well.
Yeah, and also like the form he's in now, the whole team is in a fantastic form, we should say. But it's much, much better than last season. He has always been kind of underperforming since we got him, I thought. Yeah, he has always had these long-range shots, but none of them really seem to be threatening the keepers. So it was really, really nice to see him get
Yeah.
off the mark. And what a way to score his first goal of the season as well. Or was it his second?
It was
Might
an,
have been his second goal.
it was
But
an incredible goal. Don't matter how
yep.
many he's had. He took it really well. He had his eye on nothing but scoring. And you know, for me, I know you, Henry, said that you know he would be your man of the match. I felt that he was a very, very close second for me. For me, I think the man of the match has to be Mikel Arteta. I think
He's a manager.
his tactics, and the personnel he used, perfect for that game.
I think it's been
Absolutely
coming
perfect.
for a while. To be honest, last season Arsenal looked really good and compact. Everyone knew
Yeah.
what to do, and then
Yeah.
this season they've brought in Jesus, who has made a difference. He is good. He reminds me of Suarez.
He's opened up their play a lot.
Yeah,
He's
he's
opened it up.
skillful.
And same
He's
with
strong.
Zinchenko. Is it Zinchenko?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alexander
Yeah.
Zinchenko.
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
player.
he's been great for Arsenal already, you know.
Yeah.
I think they made really good purchases there with those guys.
But Saliba,
I think
Saliba.
Saliba's been good.
Like
Yeah.
I think last
Yeah.
year you had like Ben White playing there, and he was a good player as well. I think, but him and Gabriel has a mistake in him. I think still, he still has a mistake in him. I think, but he's a big, strong defender. But with Saliba alongside him,
Sometimes it's these combinations that you need, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so Gabriel, he's a fighter. He's big, he's strong, he gets involved, and Saliba is next to him like a sort of Rolls Royce, you know, who sort of just takes the ball and calmly sort of, you know, does something with it.
And
but
they also
to
get
get across the team. If you
they also
you
a
have,
goal threat.
How do you guys feel about Ben White? Are you happy with him?
He's got better now. He's the right back, yeah. So he's playing instead of Tomiyasu, and not his best position, arguably. But Tomiyasu, I think he was injured at the beginning of the season, or not didn't have full fitness. So he tried Ben White there, and I think he has grown into the role. To be honest with you, I think he's performing really well now. Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
In this game, it was against Son, and you know, or Son and Kane, and they barely had a shot on goal. I don't know who else has he come up against. Zaha at the beginning of the season. Again, you know, Zaha barely had a whiff of goal at all. And so I think Ben White is doing an amazing job. Just
he should play right back for
So
England.
resounding yes then.
For me, definitely, I think it's great, and he should have had an assist as well. I think.
Did you guys notice that he was also going forward? He was really high up the pitch as well at times.
Yeah.
The way the way Arteta he goes all in sometimes. It's amazing to watch.
That's
it really
why
is
Arteta
similar.
got my man of the match.
It is really similar to Manchester City.
he allowed these players to express themselves.
Yeah.
You know, which is a lot more than a lot of managers have been doing recently. I mean, you can count on one hand the amount of managers that allow their players to just express themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and we're talking about mainly at the top end of the league usually. You know, there's very few that just allow their players just free reign. And
it's all clicking at Arsenal right now. It's
it
even like we should really talk about Granit Xhaka as well, Henry, right? How good has Granit Xhaka been, and how surprising has this been for an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, he's got this sort of Aaron Ramsey thing now where he just is determined to get into the box as fast as he can. And that's really weird because the last two seasons he's been sort of closer to his own penalty box.
Yeah.
And so I think he's really enjoying it. You know, he's getting involved and
he's good at it.
Did you see the post-match interview?
Yeah.
Where he referenced the troubles he had a couple of seasons ago. I mean,
I was there, guys. I was there.
Fair play to him for basically putting his hands up and saying that I was a bit of an idiot and now I'm kind of concentrating on the job in hand. And to be fair, you know, he has probably been Arsenal's most improved player this season so far.
I didn't see that, but okay.
He's the only one to have sort of made the survives the Arteta cut as well. Arteta got rid of pretty much everybody. There aren't many people who were still
But
there.
he stripped him of the captaincy, if I'm right.
He did.
I'm believing. Is that right? Yeah.
Guys, I was there. It was
And yet
against
he's-
Crystal Palace, a home
and
match
yet he
against Crystal
still
Palace.
keeps him on the books and plays him regularly. Obviously, there's a very, very good talent now. And Mikel Arteta has obviously looked at it and said, look, I was probably wrong to give him the armband in the first place. So let's call it quits. And you just be a player and I'll just be your manager.
So is Odegaard the captain now?
Yeah.
Yeah. But Xhaka still acts like a captain, doesn't he? After they scored the first goal, he got everyone in a circle and did
that's it.
Like, come on.
And that's important in a team, is to have like players with a captain mentality all over the park.
It is.
It doesn't matter what position they play. If you've got that kind of captain mentality around and you've got more than one player in your side that has that mentality, that can't be anything but good for the team. It just helps to drive everybody on.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are real title contenders, and
definitely
they have been for a few weeks.
Wow.
And I think and I
will take it. I'll take it from a Liverpool fan all day long.
There's only Gabriel who's got mistakes in him, I think.
Yes, but at the same time, he's able to score goals as well. Like, he's a goal threat.
Yeah, and as
corners,
said, type of centre half. Yeah,
you're right, but
I think Odegaard a little bit as well. That's why I'm a bit surprised that he's captain. I know he's a quality footballer on the ball, but the last 3 times he's played Liverpool, he hasn't showed up at all. I thought. And
he stands up in the changing room, though, mate. That's the thing.
He was good at the beginning of the season. I think he had a small injury now, right? Something like that, Henry.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean he's been away on international duty, and he's always a bit off when he comes back from playing for Norway. I don't know what it is.
Didn't he miss one game before that though? I think he missed one game or something.
Yeah, he got a knock, didn't he?
He had a knock. Yeah.
I think his physicality is a great player on the ball, but sometimes to be in that midfield, sometimes his physicality is not there. But when he's got Partey and
exactly
the other guy Xhaka alongside him,
he'll be fine. The thing as well with Odegaard, sometimes it seems like he has games when he's on and then games when he kind of disappears. And this was kind of one of those games when he disappears. But then on the other hand, can you really say it was a big problem if Arsenal win 3-1? Presumably he was doing things which allowed other people to play, or he was taking people away so other people had space. I think.
Arsenal players know where every other player is on the pitch. Yeah. They know where.
That's exactly what Odegaard was doing. He was playing off the ball. That's what
he was playing on the edge of the game, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And if someone like Conte, for example, decides that Odegaard is the threat and tells his players to concentrate on him, then people like Partey and Xhaka have the room to have a great game themselves, which happened.
The problem is everyone is a threat now. Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Saka was the best player last season, right? Last season's best player was Saka, the top goal scorer, I think. Now Xhaka started scoring goals. Partey with a cracking goal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really difficult to focus on one player now. And Odegaard, I would like to cast our mind back to the beginning of the season. In my humble opinion, he was De Bruyne-esque. That's how good he was. And now he had this little knock. So international break, had to play for Norway. Honestly, if he wasn't the best player in the North London derby and we win 3-1, I don't think it's an issue at all. And he will be back. He's the captain, great player. And you're right in saying that, what he lacks in physicality, he's going to make up for with...
he's great on the ball. Yeah.
With his... playmaker,
and he's footballing brain as well. He's got quite a decent brain for football. He knows where the play should be and could be and needs to be. Very good at that.
Yeah. Spurs were poor, I think. It was a derby and they tried, and I don't want to discredit Arsenal, but I've been disappointed with Spurs this season. But that's every season, isn't it? But but there is only 4-point difference. Did you I think there's only 4 points. They still win football matches, don't they?
Exactly. So you can't rule them out, or you can't. Sorry, write them off. You just can't write them off. They are Spurs.
Yeah.
They're just capable of anything. Especially this manager Conte is just.
Yeah.
I think
Let's
it's
hope they're capable of relegation.
that sounds good.
I doubt it, but I would love that.
Yeah. It's that front three, isn't it? And then one big thing is that was it Kulusevski? Is that his name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wasn't playing,
he should play.
but him and Son
He's still pretty
and Kane up front. I mean, you can see what Conte was trying to do. Basically, just wait for Arsenal to make a mistake and then pounce.
This could be their weakness. This over reliance on this front three. You know, like their defenders are kind of like Pulisic, maybe okay, but like other than that,
But they don't even some teams who play like that press, but Tottenham don't even press. They just wait. They sit and wait for something to go wrong, and then they attack. You know, because like you say, is Harry Kane gonna start pressing? I don't think so.
No.
Sorry, I said Pulisic. No. There's a different.
We know
what's
what
his
you mean.
What the defender?
Pedersen.
No, I think isn't he from
Pedersen.
Croatia? Not
Pedersen.
Perisic.
From Croatia.
Perisic.
Perisic.
Ivan
Can you not
Perisic.
hear me? I said that 5 times then.
Sorry.
He did. And I said it just to highlight it for you.
Thanks, guy.
Just in case you didn't understand
I
the
was
English.
looking at me, Mike.
Should we move
I haven't
on
had
to
a
the West
Scouser
Ham
on the
game now?
show for a long time. That must be- All right. Fantastic. So I don't know, I guess we're gonna round this off by asking, can Arsenal win the league? Clive, I'm gonna ask you, can Arsenal win the league?
Anything's possible, and the way Arsenal are playing at the moment, it looks probable.
Probable.
Probably.
I think the only real threat they're going to have is City, and the only way they can basically lose the grip they have on it at the moment. I know it's only 1 point, but they are in pole position at the moment, and the only way they're going to lose that is by losing games and losing points. So it's up to the players, and it's up to the management, the coaching staff, etc. And of course, it's up to the fans in the stadium as well, because as I know, as a West Ham supporter, when it's quiet in the stadium, it's quiet on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So the fans need to be that 12th man. And that's, it's an old cliche that gets, punted around quite a lot, but it really, really is the truth.
Yeah.
The 12th man, the supporters really, really do help, the team on the pitch. So if Arsenal can get all of that in place and keep it in place all season, there's no reason why they can't take the title.
Well, it's amazing to hear all this.
I don't want them to, clearly.
Would you rather have Tottenham or City or Liverpool and Man United win it? Come on, Clive.
Do you know what? If I'm completely honest with you, I would rather City won it than Arsenal.
Oh no! Come on, again, it's getting boring, mate.
But no, this is just, London rivalry.
I get it.
You have to understand. I can't wish a win on anybody other than West Ham, can I? Let's be fair.
All right.
No, fair play to Arsenal, though. I will be complimentary about them because they've looked damn good this season, and they don't look like they want to let go. So, fair play,
Okay. Right, let's move on to which one? Shall we talk about the Liverpool game first? I think so, because West Ham was the last game of the day. So let's talk about the Liverpool game. 3-3 home draw against a really good team, Brighton, but with a new manager now. As we know, Graham Potter left for Chelsea. So what happened in that game, Paul? Why didn't you get 3 points?
Oh, Liverpool started slow, but we're playing a team, as you said. Brighton are good. I think they were in 4th. Are they in 4th now, I think?
I think they're still there.
Played well. They've beaten Manchester United away. They've taken points off Spurs and Chelsea this year as well, I think. So
West Ham haven't beaten them in something like 18 games or something.
They're a good team, and everyone who plays them, like every week, they play well, and they played well against Liverpool for the first 15 minutes and got 2 goals, and they played well all match, to be honest. But Liverpool woke up after 10, 15 minutes when we could have been 3 or 4-0 down. They had 2 other chances. And then we came back into it and pushed and pushed and pushed and got the goals. And after the break, there was an own goal from a corner. And so we were 3-2. But yeah, and Brighton didn't have to do much to equalise, really. Everyone relaxed a little bit. It looked like Liverpool would win when it was 3-2. We were dominating, really. Brighton weren't having chances. People relaxed. We put Milner on for some reason. Not that he was at fault, really, but people just relaxed. And it's just little mistakes, little things not going Liverpool's way at the moment. Not like decisions or anything, just Van Dijk missed the ball when the cross came in. And it goes to Trossard, and he bounces in. So,
and Trent seems to be getting turned around a little bit, doesn't he? By the attacking players.
A lot's coming down the right as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold had possibly the worst 5 minutes I've ever seen a footballer have. To be honest, he mishit it 3 times, and just every goal was down the right, I think, and so.
Right. Yeah. Well,
he's not looking on it.
I'm gonna ask Henry now. So, Henry, the narrative is that Trent doesn't defend. Like, he's a great attacking option, obviously. But my question for you, Henry, is: can you afford to play a defender that doesn't defend in the modern football?
I mean, Liverpool won the league like that. So yes, you can, I suppose, but I guess it probably depends on a lot of other factors as well. Like if the rest of the team are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing to the maximum of their ability, and I imagine if that level drops slightly or the intensity slightly drops or something, then it can suddenly become a weakness. That would be my guess. I don't watch masses of Liverpool. But
I think the thing is, like, Trent, we're talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold, and all 3 of you are English, and it's not just about Liverpool, is this? Because we are talking about the England national team as well, and so it's
we can bring that
right?
into the conversation as well. Clearly,
so what do you think,
choice.
Clive? What do you think, Clive? Would you play him? Do you think Southgate should play? Should keep?
That really depends on how he picks up his game, if he picks up his game from here until the World Cup break. I mean, you can't judge a man too much on what happened yesterday. I mean, you've got to judge a man on what he does now. That's how I see it, and I'm hoping that Gareth Southgate will take the past into consideration, but will judge him on his current form. And we know that Terence Trent D'Arby. Sorry, my apologies. Trent Alexander-Arnold. We know that he is an absolutely quality player at what he does. Yes, there is a question mark over his defensive capabilities, but he has proved in the past that he can get the tackles in, and he can build play up from the back without shadow of doubt. Mm-hmm. So it depends on what he does between now and when we break up for the World Cup, but I can see him being on the plane. I can't see him not being there.
Now I have to ask. Okay, Paul.
I'm just going to turn off my camera for a second because I just need to do something.
Go ahead.
Obviously, I'd like Trent to play for England, but I don't care if he doesn't, really. And I don't think he will. Southgate doesn't like him. He's like, as Henry said, Liverpool won the league, Champions League finals, won the Champions League. He was a big part of that. He still never played for England, and he was the main creative force in those teams. And so, he's already made his decision. Southgate, he's seen him enough. He thinks he needs someone more solid defensively in how England play, and I think
like Maguire.
No, let's not ever mention that name again in my presence, please. Makes me feel.
I mean, you see the football that Southgate plays. We saw in the Euros. It's not the most sort of exciting attacking football, is it? And so, someone
No.
like Alexander Arnold, that's not his kind of player, basically. I think Southgate would be happy with 10 players that can defend on the pitch, to be quite honest. So, poor old Alexander Arnold, one of the most talented lads of his generation. He's just got the wrong England coach. When he's
he needs to book his ideas up, though. He was
somebody like Glenn Hoddle, he would have been, a right winger or a midfielder. And that's, because clearly his attacking prowess is so much better than his defensive capability.
Yeah.
So, someone like Glenn Hoddle as an ex-England manager, or even, Sam Allardyce, if he'd have carried on, if he was the England manager now, he would use Alexander Arnold as a midfielder. Most managers probably would,
I think he can.
I'm not saying that Klopp doesn't know what he's doing, because clearly he does. He's won many titles, etc. But
I don't know about
Klopp.
Sorry, I'm not going in on Klopp here, but I just think Liverpool have been a bit unlucky this year. We've had tough matches. We've only lost one match, and we're in crisis. And that was away to Manchester United, which we hardly ever win anyway. Really, it's hard to get a result there in a match they needed to win. We drew 4, I think. Everton away, tough match for Liverpool. Brighton and Palace we've drawn at home, which we lost. We were down to 10 men quite early against Palace, but we're conceding the first goals in these matches. Brighton and Palace are 2 tough teams as well. Really, I know maybe Arsenal are beating these teams this year, but Fulham away in the first match, drawing that match, was a bit of a tough match. We've just been a bit unlucky. Not unlucky.
It's been a bit of a hard knock for the lads as well,
Yeah, we've just had a
draw
few
into a newly relegated team, newly promoted team. Sorry.
Yeah, after we beat City quite comfortably, I thought, in the Community Shield, and then it was a good match. But it was, I think, we were comfortable winning.
Similarly to last season when Arsenal lost on the opening day to Brentford, it kind of knocked Arsenal's confidence for the first 4 or 5 weeks.
Possibly,
It weren't until then they started getting some decent results, the occasional win, decent draws.
The thing is, if Liverpool are to be a title contender, this could already be late, because City are just
now.
Out
the
of
next
this
2 games are key. Well, I thought the next 3, including Brighton, but now we've drawn that match from me. Could have easily won as well, 3-2 up, with 10 minutes to go. But now it's Arsenal and City who we play.
I need to ask you, Paul. I need to ask you about Sadio Mane. Do you miss him?
Of course, any player would miss Mane, but any team would miss Mane. But that's part of a multitude of reasons. I think there's a little bit of a hangover as well mentally. They played 63 great games last season, and the same team every week, more or less. And there was so much the quadruple, to the end of the season with City having to win every week. And then that's deflation, isn't it? It looked like we were going to win it. And then they had to pick themselves up for the Champions League final. And again, they kind of were the better team in that match, but it was deflation again. And so it's
fair enough. It's not easy. It's not easy.
And then you got Fulham and teams running all over them, and they're come on, just let us. I think just mentally, they're it can't be bothered. It's going full tilt again. That's why I worry for Klopp a little bit. I think him as a person, if Liverpool lose the next 2 matches, which can easily happen, we might lose to Rangers, or something might happen in the Champions League group, but it might not. We might look like we're not qualifying after the next few games if we lose to Napoli at home, Rangers twice, and then Napoli. So, and yes, but a few defeats down the line, I think he will look at himself and think, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know how to improve it. And I think he's such an honest person. He might think I might step down.
You think so, Henry? Do you think this?
I don't know. I was going to ask if Klopp has something of the Bielsa in the way that they are such high sort of demands of the players that it can't go on forever. And Bielsa, there's always this moment when everybody's burnt out, because you can't keep that energy level so high. And I wonder if Klopp has something of that.
Yeah, I think it could be because it happened at Dortmund. They were in the relegation zone, weren't they, in his 7th season? He's now in his 7th season with Liverpool. And yeah, we're not like a million miles away, to be honest. But like that's his way of playing. He only has that way of playing. If it's not working, he's not going to keep trying to flog a dead horse type of thing. I think he'll move a step down. Like if his way of playing is not winning, and yeah, we're not. If we don't look like we're going to make the Champions League, I think he might.
For me personally, he would be such a big miss. I'm not supporting Liverpool, but I like Klopp. I have a lot of respect for him. And the way Liverpool have been playing.
I like his honesty.
It would be a shame if he did that. I hope you're not right in.
Yeah, because it's electric football. It was a heavy metal football. Every match is exciting with Liverpool, and that's because of him and what he demands from his players. Even though sometimes we get beat.
Did Nunes play this time?
He came on for 5 minutes. And he scored for Uruguay against Canada. He played okay. But I think because he scored, I think it might have not annoyed him, but he might have thought he wants to play, doesn't he? He wants to prove people wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That red card that really, sort of hampered him, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we've got several comments here from Noop, who is watching us live. And one of his comments is Liverpool's midfield woes are beginning.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm.
Henderson is looking a little bit half a yard slower, I think. Well, he hasn't played so much this season again. I think it's a bit of a hangover from last season. Thiago coming back is a big plus for Liverpool.
What happened to Nketiah? Because Arsenal were interested in him, and that seemed like a great buy at the time.
For Liverpool? He's still at Arsenal?
No, and is that his name, the midfielder at Liverpool? Is it
Chamberlain?
Oxlade-Chamberlain? Nketiah or something.
Oh, Keita. Naby Keita.
Sorry.
Keita.
He must be injured, I think. He's injured. But
he's quite a dynamic player. He is. I quite like him.
Yeah, he's flattered to deceive at times. He gets out muscled a little bit, but he's a decent player. Yeah, he's been injured.
Keita.
Yeah, though not and Nketiah is our striker, and
that's right. Is it Naby Keita and Nketiah are all mixed up in my head?
I was confused a little bit here, but the last thing to wrap this part about Liverpool up, we have to mention this as well. I will miss his excuses about the grass and wind. I think this is about Klopp. I think he's talking about Klopp.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you will have to remember this, Paul, and then get your back at Noop next time. Next time you are on together. Okay, so let's talk about West Ham then. Finally, you managed to get 3 points in a home match, right?
Yes.
So it was against Wolves.
Yeah.
We're not in a good form, but it counts, doesn't it?
But they were they were one place above us in the league. So, it was a must-win game. You got to beat the teams around you. That's a must. That's a given. That's minimum requirement. So we've done that. We started Skamaka from minute 1. He got his goal
with Antonio.
Yeah, with Antonio. He got his goal and he earned it. He deserved it, and it was an absolute peach. It was beautiful. His finish was incredible. Bowen is back to a kind of a standard that we're expecting of him, that we kind of expect him to be at. We've been, as a fan base, we've been reasonably critical of Bowen over the first few games of the season because his desire and drive hasn't quite been at the levels that we're used to. I mean, last year he was, he was close to being, Hammer of the Year, and the player's choice of Hammer of the Year as well. He was, in the runnings and right up the top there. But this season he hasn't started so well. He got his England call up based on his performances last year, I would have thought. But I mean, it's nice that he's being considered by the England setup. But really and truly, all we wanted him to do was concentrate on his club football, which he seems to have done now. We had a great performance on Saturday from your countryman Thomas Souček.
Finally.
Great performance from him. We've been very critical of him this season so far. Generally, I'm not saying me personally. I mean, I have had some criticisms, but a great performance from him. For me, he got my man of the match on Saturday. And, overall, a reasonably good display from the whole team. Not the best. We've played so much better before. Last season we were playing so much better. But, we're doing okay in the Europa Conference League as well. We haven't slipped up there yet, touch wood. So, okay. As far as the league's concerned, not been a great start to the season.
Okay.
But things are starting to look like
Seems
we're going to
quite a
make our
crash.
move.
Like the last couple of seasons, West Ham seem to have been sort of like, making a place for themselves, certainly in the Europa League sort of places, but even sort of talk of maybe, pushing for the Champions League. And now you're right down the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
7 points.
Look, West Ham are a kind of a yo-yo team anyway, or a boomerang team if you prefer. We've got a history of dipping out of the top league and then immediately coming back, winning the playoffs or something, to get ourselves back into the Premiership. We've got a bit of a history of that. David Moyes seemed to have steadied that kind of uncertainty. He kind of seemed to have steadied that for the last couple of years. But then, you guys were also mentioning about the Klopp and Bielsa burnout phase in the team. I mean, David Moyes demands a lot from his players. I've watched a few of the training sessions on video and stuff. And he does demand a lot. He demands 110% from every player, every moment. So maybe there's a little of that about it as well. We've had one or two niggling injuries in certain players, like international duties got involved. And, there's been a number of issues, I think, and it's kind of unsettled our team. Mm-hmm. And also, of course, you've got to understand we've had 8 new players come in.
Yeah.
And we've lost, I think, 6. Mm-hmm. 2 of them are out on loan. I think the other 4 were sold. So we've actually, for the first time in, I think, 18 or 17 years, I think it is, that we've signed more players than we've released.
That'll do it.
And even if we only release 1 player, we won't sign anybody. Usually, if we sign 2, we'll release 3 or 4 usually. So this has, been quite a major upheaval for the team, and we know that David Moyes likes to ease the players into the Premier League and stuff. Even Premier League players that have transferred from, let's just say for argument's sake, Burnley to West Ham, he still feels that he needs to bed them in. Maxwell Cornet, I think, is a far better player than we've seen so far this season. And Gianluca Scamacca, we've seen some moments of brilliance from him. And we've also seen 1 or 2 sloppy moments from him. But this is a guy that's never played Premier League football before,
Okay.
But in general, on Saturday, I felt we we had a decent performance, one or two niggling little issues that we need to iron out, but it was a win and
Okay.
3 points.
Okay, Paul, would you say that it's a win against Wolves? Only Wolves who have been struggling, and after this match, they sacked their manager as well, Bruno
Have
Lage.
they sacked their manager? I never knew
It
that.
is, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
So
2 hours after the game.
yeah.
Wow, I never knew that.
So doesn't it tell a little bit of the tale? Like, isn't this win a little bit overrated? What do you think, Paul?
It's a win. As
I
a
really
win's a
liked
win.
you until now.
2-0 is a good score. Going into the match, I thought Wolves would win. To be honest, I don't know why. I think they've got a few good players. Wolves got a few good attacking players. So yeah, I think it's a good win for West Ham, and Clive knows more about it than me. That's all I've got to say about West Ham.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it, buddy.
Henry, didn't you say you saw the match as well?
No, not this one. I watched the Manchester derby.
Okay, that's okay.
Oh, actually, this was on Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
said you watched half of the
no,
game.
no.
But
I didn't watch any games on Saturday.
But I need to ask this question. So I don't have Wolves picked their new manager yet?
Not that I'm
He would
aware
have
of.
to be
no.
Portuguese, wouldn't he? They've got.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask
True.
you, Henry. Do you think he will be Portuguese as well? Because how many Portuguese players do they have? Wouldn't that make sense? And
Yeah.
an additional follow-up question: what would Mourinho say if he was offered the job? He's Portuguese.
Where is Mourinho at the moment? I've got no
Roma.
idea.
He's happy
Somewhere
in
in
Roma.
Italy.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah,
Inter
he's at
Milan.
Roma with Tammy Abraham, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think no. Why would he do that? I don't think so.
He looks 10 years younger
Yeah.
in Rome now.
Yeah, exactly. Give it all up to come and live in
And
Wolverhampton.
5 miles happier. He actually looks like he's enjoying his football again, which makes him a dangerous beast.
Yeah, he is the special one after all, isn't he?
Well, that's what he
They
says.
beat Inter Milan last weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Away.
Mustn't forget about the win in the Conference League as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's won every trophy. He
Yeah.
said, didn't he?
No one else can say that.
now, yeah. Everyone worth winning. Definitely. He hasn't won the Betway Cup yet.
Okay. Okay, guys. I think we should talk about the Manchester derby at least a little bit, because let's be honest,
I didn't see it.
you didn't see it.
I've seen
Okay.
the goals. How did Lisandro Martinez play?
I mean, not well.
No,
I
I imagine
Okay.
he
I
didn't
mean,
play well.
Yeah, what's he there for? If he's there to sort of be able to, be technically strong and help bring the ball out of defense, then that wasn't really relevant. It's against Man City. Man City, they don't let you have the ball.
I almost feel like this
You
is a
can
little
say it,
unfair.
Henry. He failed miserably.
I almost feel this is a little bit unfair to judge him on based on that
Sorry.
game.
Yeah,
No, it's okay. It's just like I thought he was actually quite good. He was part of the reason because I was looking at the form table of Manchester United, and they got like 4 wins in a row before this game. So he was part of that.
Though. They haven't been impressive. I thought they've been like 1-0 wins.
Yeah, but it's
But they've
still,
won.
it's still wins, and
Arsenal won a league unbeaten on 1-0 wins.
and Leicester. We can also mention Leicester here.
I mean, there were a number of them within that season, obviously, but I mean, it doesn't have to be pretty football. It doesn't have to be big score lines.
Yeah,
if you're winning.
But I think we have to talk about once again, this freak of nature called Haaland.
Phil Foden.
Phil Foden got a hat trick, but I think he was still overshadowed by Haaland, who got his 3rd home hat trick in a row, which is a new record. No one has ever done that before. So, how many goals does he have already? He has won the Golden Boot.
17, I think it is.
14.
No, really.
14.
Well,
14.
Well, maybe
17
maybe after that match at 17.
Yeah.
That's
just
crazy.
so- Imagine
But
he
I was
continues scoring in
watching.
this fashion.
Yeah, I was watching something though, and they said that if he continues to score at the rate he's scoring now, at the end of the season he will have 77.7 goals. That's ridiculous. Nobody's ever done that since
Even
about 1920.
even if he gets 50, even if he gets 50, come on.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I
Yeah.
mean, the guy's an absolute beast.
Yeah.
An absolute beast. And I mean, you
Avatar.
name me a manager, a club, or a fan out there that wouldn't want him in their shirt. You know, I mean, he is an absolute goal machine.
It's
And it's,
unstoppable.
you know, I
But
mean,
the way that he
okay,
scores his goals as well, like it's just
it's just anywhere, from anywhere and everything.
and the
He's got
way
it
like
all.
it's so convincing, it's so clinical. It's just you cannot see anyone else doing anything.
And then
similar to
after the game, he criticised the whole team and said we should have scored more. I mean, they won 6-3 for goodness sakes.
He's
that.
funny,
We should have
isn't he?
scored more.
He is very funny. I don't think
He
he
is,
wants to be
right.
funny when in his interview. I'm not sure this is what he wants to do, but
No, but
he will get away with anything though. Like
he has got a very good sense of humour from the reports and stuff that I've seen. You know, he does tend to have a decent, a decent rapport with the guys in the changing room and stuff. So,
okay.
but, I mean, but as a player, I mean, he is one of few players that is actually unplayable.
Yeah, he is. He's unplayable, isn't he? It's the thing, because he is fast. He's got incredible movement. But the goal, I can't remember if it was his second, was a header from. It was just a header from a corner.
Yeah.
I think initially he was being marked by Ericsson, and so
Oh yeah.
straight away just got away from him with speed and physicality.
Yeah.
And then he was basically just on in the middle of the 6-yard box, just jumped straight up and headed in. And normally you'd have goalkeepers and centre backs and everybody climbing all over you, and it just
it was
made no difference. They were
It was a
bouncing
good
off
goal.
it. You know,
Although-
it's a joke.
Although it barely crossed the line because a defender kicked it out of the goal.
Yeah.
It was just about. It was just about the goal.
But if you
But
could
But
do
in
that,
fairness,
just
Ericsson couldn't defend against it. Christian Eriksen couldn't defend against a 2-foot midget, could he? Really, let's be honest. You know, he's not really defensive minded at all.
I know. Similar to Odegaard.
You know?
Yeah.
He's never been renowned for his defensive ability. He's always been like a creative midfielder.
Yeah, it's a strange decision asking him to mark Haaland.
Yeah.
He's bigger and faster than everyone. He's not much skill. I haven't seen him do a piece of skill, to be honest. Like anything. Like
Does he need to?
skillful, but he doesn't need to, does he? He just runs away from people, pushes people over,
Runs through you. Yeah, he just runs
blasts
through you.
the ball into the net.
Didn't he say in an interview that his dream is to score 5 goals with 5 touches as well? He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be that player. He just wants to score goals.
Yeah, at the end of the move, that's who he is. You know, amazing.
I don't have him in my fancy football team.
Me neither.
You're mad. You're absolutely mad.
Had him, and it's too late now. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to see how.
Honestly, like if you don't have Haaland in your fantasy team, you shouldn't even play the game. I'm sorry.
I might have to sell Jesus.
I'm not going to put him in my team. I wanted to put him in the first week, and I went with 3 premium midfielders. And so
I went with
Haaland.
And for the first 3 weeks, he was brilliant for me.
And I've just kept him out since, even though I know he's going to score points every week.
We're gonna talk about the fantasy league at the end.
Okay.
One question for Henry: Is the league a foregone conclusion? Because honestly, like I feel like we both understand that it's going to be difficult for Arsenal to win the league. Like, you never know. Like, do you feel like it's a foregone conclusion?
I think so. And Manchester City will win it. I think that just the way that the past seasons have gone, that you can't afford to sort of mess up. And the other team that I thought could stay with Manchester City were Liverpool. Yeah, and I think Liverpool have already probably lost too many points to be in contention, which is really sad. But that's the way it is at the moment. You know, you lose a few games and that's it. Your season's it's not over, but you're not going to win.
And it's not just that for me. It's just like they're not in a good form, in my opinion, Liverpool. And some of their players like Salah, like not scoring. as much as
Yeah.
he's used to. It's just not happening for them. You know,
So I think it's Man City, and I think Arsenal are playing really well at the moment, but I don't know how much depth there is, and especially when you start going deeper into the Europa League, then that starts getting tricky to balance. And well, you saw Man City on the weekend. Yeah, they've got Haaland who scored 3 goals, and they've got another guy who scored 3 goals as well. So they've just got such depth, and nobody's even talking about De Bruyne.
And they
Who's there as well.
And their defense was like they didn't play their best defense. Was it like 2 players? And they had to play like Ake and players like that who normally play the second fiddle, and still like they were unplayable in that game.
Yeah, I think.
Although
I just
they conceded
the only
3
thing I
goals.
hope, I just hope they lose, because the fact that Arsenal are still the only team to have gone a season unbeaten is a record that I really, really love, and I don't want anybody else to get that.
But it wasn't all wins, though.
No, exactly. But
I have
that's
to point it out.
the only team to get that special Premier League trophy, and that's the way I like it. So every season I watch and wait for somebody to lose. And no, it's Man City.
All right, guys, let's talk about our heroes of the week. So you're gonna start with Clive.
My hero of the week. It's a tough one for me. I'm going to have to say, for me, I think my hero of the week will have to be Thomas Partey for an incredible goal, really good game on Saturday, and for proving me wrong. I thought he was rubbish. Yeah, honesty.
Okay, I like that. Henry, what about you?
I'm going to say Danny Welbeck. And as an old Arsenal player, I watched that game, and I quite like the way that, because Welbeck never scores, and he never scored for Arsenal either. But now he's sort of just become this sort of focus man up top. He presses, he receives long balls, he passes it out to other people who score. I'm happy for him. I'm glad he's found a home.
Mr. Assist.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Paul.
Lisandro Martinez. No, only joking. I think Haaland is obviously. Foden. I knew Foden would do well this week. I put him in my fancy football team. He's a local Manchester lad. But I think Martinelli was amazing in that London derby, and playing against Richarlison on that side. He didn't get picked in the Brazilian squad, and Richarlison did, and everybody likes him in Brazil. I follow Brazilian football, and I think Martinelli showed him and everybody how good he was, and I think Brazil are blessed with wingers. They have Anthony, Rafinha, Vinny Jr. So it'll be difficult for him to get in the starting 11, but I think he should go to the World Cup.
Martinelli always plays well against Liverpool.
And next week is against Trent on that side.
Right.
So, it'll be tough for Trent. He's looking a bit too big, Trent. I think he's just like, footballers, you need to be a bit slimmer. It looks like he's been in the gym too much. Anyway, sorry, Martinelli.
Okay, well, I'm going to pick Leandro Trossard, because like getting a hat-trick against Liverpool, that's never easy. And Anfield, it's a big achievement in my opinion. And I think he scored 2 early goals as well. I heard that on another podcast that no one has done that since Gary Lineker or something like that, to score 2 goals at Anfield, something like that, so early or something like that.
The last person to score a hat-trick was Arshavin at Anfield.
Didn't he score 4 goals actually?
Good shout. That was okay.
Also, like getting that equalizer, that was super important as well. I like all the goals were very nice as well. Like the first goal, that was a piece of brilliance by him. I thought reminded me of Bergkamp a little bit what he did there. how he controlled the ball and he sort of let it go, and then it was like, do you know what I'm talking about? No.
No, Bergkamp's goal. I remember.
No. I'm talking about Trossard's first goal.
First goal.
Was it the first goal? Or was it the second goal?
Might have been the second. I don't think it
It could have been the second. I can't remember. It was like, yeah.
He's a good player. He's a good
Anyway,
player.
I think he deserves it. So yeah.
Okay.
Villain. Let's do. Okay. Supposing my mouse decides to start working again. Yeah. Villain of the week. Yeah. All right. So who would like to start?
I might as well. I started last time. My villain of the week, Paul Tierney, the referee.
Every week.
He didn't give anything West Ham's way for 52 minutes. It took him 52 minutes to make a decision to give West Ham anything.
I don't like Paul Tierney.
I love these picks.
It's criminal. It's not just villainy. It's criminal.
I love the picks. Whenever it's a referee or a VAR, these are my favorite picks from you guys.
Paul Tierney, sack him. Get him out.
All right. Henry?
Antonio Conte, maybe we could say, for maybe for the 4-man substitution he did after going 3-1 down. He basically just gave up. Well, right, yeah, that's it. I don't know if he was making a statement or a point, or if he was genuinely trying to rest his players, but he's just like, right, that'll do.
Okay, Paul?
I've mentioned him 3 times now, and I don't want to talk about him, but it has to be Trent. I came on here thinking, don't talk about him. I hate all the media about him. Just leave him alone. And I've mentioned him 3 times because it was the first time where I thought he was poor. Like, okay, he's been done a few times this season, but he was poor. Is it like he wasn't good on the ball? Yeah. So him.
Okay, and for me, it's got to be Emerson Royale. Although I'm happy it happened. Martinelli didn't get injured. Red card killed the game, in my opinion. I think that we were just 2-1 up at that point, unless I'm mistaken. And that is like a big mistake if you want to chase the game at the Emirates Stadium. I don't think Conte would be too happy with that.
He's Brazilian as well, isn't he? So Martinelli was playing against 2 Brazilians down that side. And he got the better of both of them,
It was a bad challenge as well, very ugly. Okay, and our last segment, guys, is the Fantasy League. We're just going to quickly go through that.
Do you want me to jump out here? Because I don't have a Fantasy League team.
Sure. Thank you very much for joining, Henry.
It's my pleasure. Lovely to see you all again.
Enjoy the top of the league.
Pleasure meeting you, Henry. Take care, sir.
All the best, guys. Cheers, then. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay, guys. So, how are you doing in the Fantasy League then?
Awful.
Go on, Paul.
Awful again. I've been awful the last few seasons. Like I tried to be clever at the start, and I still try to be clever now. I don't have Haaland in my team, and I have Wildcard, but I'm still not going to put him in my team. I still, So,
right. So this is the Teachers Denek League, and I'm currently sitting in the 8th position. Clive is just 5 points. No, not 5. 1 point ahead of me. Where is Paul?
What did you score this week, Zenek?
I think it was my best week ever this season. 86 points.
And you scored 5 more than I did then.
Yeah, I'll show you why soon. But I just want to look at Paul. Where's Paul?
Everyone
here.
Had the same
In the 12th
team.
place. In the 12th place, yeah.
And I've got the same team as everybody else, to be honest, but without Haaland.
I haven't got Haaland either.
You
Well
can't
done,
play
Clive.
with it.
No, but I have got De Bruyne and Foden.
It's a miracle, Clive, that
I have
you're
those
in
two,
this.
Clive, as well. De Bruyne and Foden and Cancelo.
Okay,
I haven't
Foden.
got Cancelo.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, look how many points Haaland got me. He got 3 goals and 2 assists. 46. I captained him, obviously.
46. Wow.
46. What a haul.
Wow.
But I have to say, thanks, Jared Bowen. 14 points. Very nice as well.
Lovely,
That's
eh?
a good score,
Yep.
yeah.
But everyone
I had
else,
Trippier on my bench.
Trippier got a clean sheet, even though he was substituted 2 minutes before
Yeah.
Newcastle conceded a goal.
And he got a bonus point.
He got bonus points.
Yeah.
So, and Mitrovic unfortunately got injured, so I was relying on him a little bit as well. Tony, only 1 point. Yeah. So I was
got
happy
2
with.
points for Tony.
Oh, really?
Oh,
You
Yeah,
were
but I did
cheating.
captain him.
Oh.
Stupidly,
Oh.
I captained him.
And you got 80
you know,
points. Wow.
I
I should have
That's amazing.
captained Foden because he got me 19 points.
I should have.
I'm not gonna laugh because I captained Mitrovic. When
Really?
when not
Oh,
this
no.
not this week, but
Okay.
I captained Mitrovic the other day when Haaland got a hat trick. So
Oh,
I'm not captaining anyone else but Haaland, like for the rest of the season. Honestly, like yeah. Okay, guys. So yeah. That's it, I guess. Thank you very much for featuring on tonight's show.
thank you.
Thanks, Enek.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say good luck to Liverpool because you're playing Arsenal.
Arsenal. Saturday, Sunday, is it? Sunday, I think. It's Sunday.
I can't remember actually.
I know,
Yeah,
I
there's
know.
European games this week, so it will be Sunday. I would have
Liverpool
thought.
play Rangers tomorrow, yeah. At Anfield.
Yeah. And West Ham, who are
Oh,
West
you're
Ham
playing tomorrow.
We play
So it
Rangers tomorrow.
could be a Saturday. What time? What day are you playing Europe this week?
but Arsenal have to
Tuesday,
play on Thursday. They're playing Thursday, but they are
So
in
it'll
the.
be Sunday then.
Yeah.
If Arsenal are playing Thursday, they won't make you play Saturday.
Okay.
It's like us. We're playing Thursday as well.
So
So our game will be Sunday as well.
You're playing against Fulham, aren't you? Clive?
Yes. And it's another home game apparently.
Mm-hmm. Also, if James Justin scores a hat trick tonight from defence, I might take over you in the fantasy football. And I need Henderson to keep a clean sheet as well, though.
Just
the match now, isn't there?
Just a few comments from Happy Hammerhead here. She had Mitrovic. Hey,
the other chap that's joined, James Bong, he's one of our friends. He's another West Ham fan. He's
lovely.
a nice lad.
Good to see you here, James.
Yes. Always good to see you, Mr. Bong.
Yeah, I believe Happy Hammerhead that I think there are like 24 managers in our league. Something along those lines. By the way, anyone can still join, right? As long as you've been playing the fantasy league, you can still join.
Really? And your points carry over?
I think so.
Okay,
No?
I didn't know that. I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I've joined the league and I'm behind because I was 2 weeks behind.
It's an open league, isn't it?
Oh, really? Okay, maybe.
I could be wrong. Public, what do they call it? A public league?
Yeah, public league.
You can try. Yeah, I think you should be fine. You should still be able to join, but I could be wrong. Anyway, as Happy Hammerhead says, thanks, guys. Good to see you again.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure.
Take care, everyone.
All right. And if any English learners are watching us, then don't forget that there will be a follow-up to this, a video in which I explain some of the language that appeared in this show. So thank you very much once again, and thanks for watching. And give us a like. Where's the camera? Here. All right, guys. Cheers. Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Exactly. Bye.
See you, Clive. Take care.
Bye. Take care, Paul. Bye.
See you, Zenek.